Hello, hello. Welcome to A Dreams Experience Conquer Chaos. My name is Sean Laurie, and as an entrepreneur and a father of four, I want to give you guys different insights, scriptures from either myself, my wife, or others that will not only help you as an individual, but also as a parent conquer the chaos.
And hey guys, my name is Tiffany Lowry and I co host alongside my husband. I do wear many hats, and the two that I'm the most proud of is being a mother and a wife. We've had many chaotic moments as a family, but have somehow always managed to conquer the chaos. And that's why I'm excited to be here with you guys to share part of our journey.
Yes, yes, and we're super excited. We have man, he does so many different things, have so many different hats. Some of you guys might know him as Mr. Real Life Bars, Coach Red, Desmond. I don't know. He has so many different hats, but we're just so excited to have him on. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Pretty
Good,
good, pretty
good.
good. Um, what we like to do, what we like to do to get the jitters, get them going away, is a little icebreaker. Um, oh, and I think you said you had a pretty good one for them.
Yeah. When did you first fall in love with basketball?
What is it? Born in 88, 96. The Allen Iverson, the Kobe draft. So we seen the rebel come in himself, Allen Iverson and Kobe Bryant. They pretty much came in and changed the game. So it was probably back in 1996 when I was 8 years old, and I was able to understand and actually do what. No, not even do what they was doing, but some similar things that they was doing, and it was when Allen Iverson came into the league.
Mm.
That's pretty awesome. So how now I think about it too, because you're a Heat fan, right? So how did you go from Allen Iverson? Because you should be a Sixer fan then, I would think, right?
Not necessarily. I was never a fan of. I was never a fan of the team, but it's more so Allen Iverson. For me, practicing his mannerisms, practicing his crossover day in and day out. That's pretty much what bred the rebel in me, as far as a basketball standpoint.
Okay, okay. So it
Yeah,
so
definitely not a Sixers fan.
okay, all right. So we're not gonna talk about you maybe jumping ship and joining because Brian went there. We won't do that. Okay, that's
Wait,
that's we'll let you live on that one then, I guess.
Heat
Um,
Nation.
but no, but tell the people like I mentioned earlier. You're coaching. Oh, you're a father. I didn't even mention that. You're a father of amazing three boys as well. And I know you're so involved in their lives and things like that. But just tell us a little bit about your childhood and how that has shaped you to be the father that you are today.
Honestly, growing up with five brothers and four sisters, and then once I got to about 11, 12 years old, my parents divorced. It was more of a responsible role. You learn how to be resourceful. You learn how to be a person that was solution oriented. As
Mhm.
far as like, you got nine other people that's in the household, so you have to learn how to be a little bit organized. You have to learn how to be a leader early on, because I started that at 11, 12 years old. Like I said, they divorced at that age, so I had to learn a lot of things earlier than a lot of younger kids wouldn't even have to endure.
Yeah.
So as far as being a leader in the household, I was the second oldest of 10 kids. So that's what shaped me to be the solution oriented father I am. And you know what? It took a lot of patience, because I'm the second oldest, so that's eight under me. So it took a lot of patience to be able to develop those skill sets and
That
let them transpire into being a father.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's what I was gonna ask you because pretty much you almost was like in dad mode at such a young age, pretty much, right? Being a big brother slash dad in a way, was it just for you? Was it stressful, like growing up at times? Just because that's a lot of siblings, right? And I know our oldest at time, like which is understandable, but she'd be overwhelmed with her younger siblings, and I can imagine you're triple the amount of kids that you was in charge of. So was it something where was it stressful for you?
Like it definitely makes you step up into a role early, super early, because 12 years old, you're not having a kid that early. So 12 years
Yeah,
old, that's early for me to be stepping up. Hey, we need to do homework. Hey, we need to get our dinner ready, because mom be home in a little bit, and make sure this is clean, because if she came home and you was lounging, it's pretty much over with. So
yeah,
being in that role early on, it made me understand responsibility early on.
Yeah, that's kind of similar for you too, huh?
Yeah. I had to. Growing up, I was responsible for my little sister, and even things that I shouldn't have had to be responsible for, I had to be responsible for. So, I definitely, I can't relate as far as the as many people as you was, but I definitely understand of just being dad slash big brother at times.
Yeah, definitely. It was a different actually, it's a different approach for me. Only being 11, 12 years old and then still having to do certain things. And actually when I got to about 15 years old, I had to start work because it was a lot of school clothes for her to buy. So 15
Yeah,
years old, you start working and it's like, man, this is pretty early. Like I was only a ninth grader working at CC's Pizza, five
yeah.
fifteen an hour.
Sheesh. See,
Yeah.
you was getting robbed. I was at McDonald's making 7.
That's the difference between Texas and California.
It's getting robbed out there, brother.
I was. I've been working, boss.
Yeah. Um, so fun fact about you is your kids are homeschooled, right?
Hmm.
So how has that been for you? And how important is it for you to be able to teach your kids?
Mm,
It's a journey. It's not easy, but at the same time, you get to teach them about a lot of different things like the nutrition, the importance of exercise, the importance of being mentally strong, and that's not subjects that the school touch on regularly. It's always the basic things. So in public schools, you're gonna get whatever the curriculum provides, and we pretty much create the curriculum.
Mhm.
So with music and me being an artist, this is music class. They learn how to record. They learn how to do different things versus going to public school and having a certain structure that, I mean, a lot of like all three of my kids are different. So one of them likes music. The other one might be in tune to actually doing the background scenes of the music. So they learn a lot of different things being homeschooled. It's the like I said, the mental toughness, the health, and the main subjects are reading, math, writing, spelling,
Yeah.
grammar, and being a good person overall. So I mean, how many schools are really teaching kids how to be a good person?
true,
Yeah.
true. Because you could be a straight A student and be a jerk.
Yeah, super, super jerk. Like,
Yeah.
and solely based on, oh, my grades are better than yours.
Yeah,
So we teach them how to be a good person overall.
I love that. I love that. And like you say, I know you homeschool and you have, um, I know because they all enjoy basketball as well, and you work with them with basketball. So, le- is it something where you just incorporate it into the schooling, or was it something that they, just had a real interest in it? Like, how did that turn out? Because I know they all enjoy basketball, but was it something where you were just like, hey, we're homeschooling and we do, X amount of hours and then we're going to be on the court doing basketball? Or was it something where they just like, hey, dad, no, this is something we want to do? How did that all, because they see you hoop and they see you do different things, just like you said with the
Hmm.
music, right? They see you do music. So I'm sure that also inspires them to want to do
Hmm.
music. So how did they, yeah, I guess, were they always interested in basketball, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I put a ball in all of their hands early on, but I let them be kids. So it's never a forced thing. So if you want to go outside for the day and you want to play on the playground, you want to do monkey bars, swings, or whatever it is that you want to do, you do that. But naturally for them, like from 2, 3, 4 years old, they just see me lead by example, and you would see
Mhm.
eyes from the playground. They're like, okay, we got to go over there and do what dad's doing. That looks cool. He's going tween around, cross, step back. He's doing a lot of crazy things. So basketball, they naturally gravitated towards it by me leading by example. It was never a forced thing. So that's
Mm.
pretty much how they gravitated towards the game.
Mm. Go ahead.
Oh no, I thought you. Oh, shoot, I was just about to say no. I think that's dope that you said lead by example, because that's something I definitely, try to really, what's the word, implement not only with
Hmm.
myself but also with some of my clients and stuff like that. Just let them know that, hey, we're the example, and they're constantly watching. There were so many times my mom thought I had no clue what was going on, and I'm, hiding behind the wall, or putting my ear on the door listening.
Yeah.
So they're constantly watching and listening. So I love the fact that you said that you were just being an example, and they just started gravitating towards it.
Yeah, they naturally gravitated towards it too. They just seen the work ethic basically. They see me day in and day out putting in work, even though I was never at this age going to the NBA. I grinded as such, and they seen the work ethic, so they naturally gravitated towards it, and they literally want to train from Sunday to Sunday, as well as Sean Jr. I'm his trainer, so they love the game, so they see what I do, and they want to try to put that together as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. Um, and yeah, that and definitely, guys, real quick too. He's he knows what he's talking about. He's definitely amazing, just what he does with the youth and things like that. I've seen my son firsthand, where I could say, the growth and the confidence has definitely been a huge thing because of the Rebel Way, because of what Coach Red is doing. So, which is amazing. Um, so that makes me think as well. So, obviously, you're a trainer, you're a father. Um, is it hard at times to juggle both? And also, it's a two-part question, but
Mm-hmm.
is it different for you, you know, training someone else's child compared to training your child?
I can't admit with someone else's child, I have a lot more patience because I understand my own kids' characteristics. I see what they do day in and day out at home. So training somebody else's child, I kind of study them and try to cater to what they need, as well as my kids too. But I understand what they do on a day in, day out basis. Like you've seen Des Jr. in action, and you've seen Sean Jr. in action. It's two totally different personalities, but we're all here to learn and develop our skill set. So I try to have patience with them all. But for my kids, I understand what they do around the house. I see them interact all day long. So with somebody else's kids, I have a little bit more patience only because it's someone else's kids. I got to treat them with care, which I do with my own kids, but at the same time, I treat them with that same kind of respect and patience that I would do with my own kids. So with other kids, I try to just let them know the same things I would with my kids. But of course, I'm not going to be as aggressive with somebody else's kids with my own kids, because I understand, like, hey, this is your DNA. I understand what you can do. This other kid, I haven't seen them that much, but I can understand how they learn. They differ from y'all. Like they're someone else's kids, so I got to take a little bit more. I mean, I got to take a better approach when I'm approaching someone else's kid.
So does that make it difficult then, in a way, to juggle? Because right, your kids could be like, hey, you know what, you're on me about this, but you're not on this kid or that kid, right? Like the same way that you're on me. So is it like that juggling where you're like, like, hey, like you said, your kids' tendencies compared to someone else's child you're training. So is it one of those things where it's that fine line where you're like, hey, okay, I need to be stern on my boys, right, when it comes to training and stuff, and I need to also at times be a little bit more stern over here, or I need to ease up here and ease up a little bit with the boys. Like how is that? Because I be thinking like, man, that's like, well, I told you when it comes to my son, I'm like, hey, get on him, grill him, right? But
Yeah.
but for other people, right? Like I know obviously you have to be cautious of that when it comes to other people's kids. Unless
Mm-hmm.
you kind of warn them beforehand, hey, this is the way I train. But what does that look like? I guess I know that was a long
It's
question.
back. Yeah, it was a long question, but it's back to the word balance. I have to balance it out, and I have to kind of observe. So with Junior, I understand that he's more detail oriented. Like he's paying attention to detail. With my own kids, they gonna be, oh, that's my dad, so I'm kind of doing what I want to do, but I'm playing in the back of the line, so he's not gonna say much. So I got to kind of balance that out and gauge it as I go. Like I'm learning as I go. I'm not an expert in anything, but at the same time, I'm self-taught. So I go from when I was an 8-year-old kid to observing them, and I try to implement the things that I would do as an 8-year-old kid to get better. And as a trainer, I try to put those same drills together for them to help them learn. Like Junior, like I said, he's a detail oriented kid. My kids don't care because I'm dad, so they're gonna try to test it.
Test the waters, huh?
Yeah. We seen them in action, but I mean, they all definitely developing and growing tremendously.
Yeah.
Um, so how did you come up with Rebel Way, which is, your brand? And what does that mean to you?
Rebel Way is a lifestyle. It's like I said before, like somebody could get the same result. We going with 4+2, and I'll be like, okay, 3+3, that's the same answer. So at the end of the day, me and Sean, we're entrepreneurs, but our ultimate goal is success. So with somebody that's working a 9 to 5, we don't shun them, but at the same time, we know that we're going for the same goal. Our end goal is success. So if somebody's talking or saying something about the Rebel Way is nothing but somebody taking a road less travel to make things happen, but their end goal is success, just as well as somebody working a 9 to 5 and they're there for 20, 30 plus years. We just trying to get there a little bit quicker on our own route.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's good. It made me think too because I know Rebel Way. There's so many different things that come with it. Because I know you have your clothing, your music, your training, and things like that. Um, what sparked, what helped you, think of the name, or was it something that just kind of woke up and you was like, oh yeah, this is the name I want to go with? Is it something that was just always in you? Was it something that I don't know, your kids mentioned it to you? Like, what was it that really sparked that for you?
For me, it was pretty much embracing my characteristics. It was me from, like I said, seeing Allen Iverson, seeing the rebels of the world, and embracing that, and noticing I had some of the same characteristics, some similar characteristics, and embracing that. So for me, I wanted to turn that brand into a lifestyle. So that's why we came up with Rebel Way Lifestyle.
Mm,
And as far as the design goes, I work with a guy. My last job 2 years ago, and I literally just wanted it Rebel Way, but I wanted the R flip backwards to have a rebel characteristic to it. So that's where we came up with Rebel Way, and this it's literally a lifestyle from the homeschooling, from the way we do training, from point A to Z is Rebel Way lifestyle.
I
Mm,
love it. I love it.
yeah.
Because too, right, rebel can be looked at as a bad thing.
Definitely. So what
So
we
go ahead. I'm sorry.
My bad. So what we did was we turned rebel to a positive connotation because, like you said, it's always a bad stigma, basically.
Yeah.
So I tell people to look at the positive rebels, and that's what Rebel Way lifestyle is. The Malcolm X, the Martin Luther, they all had a certain outlook, but they were labeled some like someone like me, but a
Hmm.
rebel can always be a positive person because we're doing some positive things. That's why the slogan is "Stay inspired."
Yeah,
Mm,
I love it.
yeah.
I love it. And I gotta ask this too. I know some of the people that's watching right now, or maybe even listening when I said in the beginning. How did you come up with your name as well, Mister Real Life Bars? Like, how did that happen? Like, was it just something Did it take time? Was you in the lab? How did that happen? And also, with your music, how does that embody, the Rebel Way?
Rebel Way.
For me, Mr. Real Life Bars, that was pretty much my style of putting the music together. It's not the cliche shoot 'em up, bang bang type of music. I really take real life scenarios and turn it into music. So with it being real life, that's pretty much the bars that I write about. So Mr. Real Life Bars came from my style of writing music. It's
Hmm.
always a real life topic that I'm writing about, new narratives, our way, struggle, 10,000 hours. It's always a real life aspects that's integrated. It was just befitting.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
man,
dope.
rocking this.
I love it. I love it. I have one more question for you because obviously we dove into the training and things like that. And so for the parents out there, that are into basketball, because basketball is a global sport, and they're like, hey, my kid wants to be pro. My kid thinks they're gonna make it, right? And even maybe some of the parents, right? We we see that often where the parent is just basically hoping and wishing that their kid, right? Oh, they're gonna make it,
Uh
putting all this
huh.
pressure on their kids and stuff like that. But what would you, I guess, as a trainer, as a father, not only would you tell that child, but what would you tell that parent that is like, oh no, my child's going to make it pro, or or that kid that's like, oh no, I can do what Steph Curry's doing. I've seen the highlights. I can shoot a three, right? So what what would you tell? Yeah, the parent and the child.
For the parent, I would want them to be as transparent as possible and let them know that greatness. What let them know what greatness entails. Like you can have the skill set, you can have the physicality, but where's your mental? Like you can have all of those characteristics put together for a great player, but if your mental's not there, like we spoke about before, LeBron James, he's getting scolded from the time he entered the league and on his way out. So you have to be mentally strong to be able to endure that and keep on moving.
Yeah.
For the player, I want them to understand, again, it's back to the mental. You can have the skill set, the physical capability to play basketball, but if your mental's not there, you won't make it too far because there's going to be crowds ready to tear you down. And if you checking out every game, and that's what you do every game, they know they can get into your head. So it's all about having a strong mental as well as the skill set and physicality to do it.
Yeah. I like that, and I know you said this before as well, and I definitely agree that like the NBA, a lot of times that's what kids see or that's what the parents is focused on, right? But there's so many other options that can come from basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You could be a manager, you could be a coach, right? You could be a
A
what's it called?
trainer.
Trainer, sports medicine, all right, like literally
Yeah.
what you're doing, right? Like you all these different things, but I think so many times um, either as parents or especially with the kids, they get so caught up in this is the only way, or what you mentioned before too, overseas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Different things like that too. So I think that's dope that you really share that with them.
Yeah, that's my outlook on it because like a lot of kids focus on the NBA, the NBA, the NBA, but my thing is the bag over politics. If you love basketball, you're gonna take advantage of every opportunity presented. If it's someone overseas that's offering you 5 million a season to hoop, 2 million a season to hoop, and you're doing what you love, you got to take advantage of that opportunity, even though you didn't have the resources to make it to the NBA. You're still doing what you love. So for me, I look at it as the bag over politics because you might be the best kid in the world, but you were never put in a position to make that happen and go to the NBA because it's only a small window for you to really go to the NBA. So
Yeah,
I tell the kids all the time, it's the bag over politics. So if you want to go to the NBA, cool. But if you fall short, you have to be mentally strong enough to understand you got to keep going and take advantage of the opportunity presented.
Mm.
So if you go to, we ain't going to Russia, but if you go to Germany or any of those other countries and play basketball and they offer you money to do what you love, you got to take advantage of that, regardless of the mindset of, oh, I failed. It's a shortcoming. You got to take advantage of that because you're still doing what you love to do for your work.
yeah. I love that. I love that. And definitely something we've talked about as well is just how, basketball and real life go hand in hand in a way, right? And
Mhm.
like you said, like with basketball, hey, you fall short of your goal maybe as the NBA. Okay, are you going to adjust to that? Or are you just gonna, mope and pout and be like, man, that's it? Or, like you said, hey, you have an opportunity to play overseas or get into training or get into coach, you're still part of the game, right?
Mhm.
That's still part of your life. It just looks a little different,
Yeah.
And so I think that's so key is just being able to kind of not only as parents but being able to teach our kids that, like, hey, it's okay, right?
Yeah, and that's one of the aspects of Rebel Way basketball. I also try to go into that realm as far as getting them mentally prepared for the shortcomings that come with it. Because for me, I understand that you can be as good as you want to be because not boasting on myself, I was pretty good coming up 15, 16, 17, 18. But as that window closed, I understood that you might not play in the NBA ever. And I had to come to realization with that. And that's why I transitioned to being a trainer because as a kid, I never had me doing what I do for the kids now. So
Mhm.
that's one of the lines that I made music about. Be the leader you needed while on your way here.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So I needed me as a kid. So that's why I stepped up into this role, being a
yeah,
trainer.
I like that.
yeah. I like that a lot. So as I close out, I have one more question for you. It's one
Hmm.
more. So, um, I know you, like again, like you talked about, very talented. Why is it that, because you could have talented enough where you could have said, "Hey, I'm gonna go overseas," right? Why why did you choose to stay? Not that as a bad thing, but why did you choose to stay and teach the youth, right? And help in the community and things like that, instead of, hey, I'm gonna go, overseas or whatever the case is.
For me, I understood, especially when I hurt my leg. I understood the window is closing, and then at 26 years old, I had a kid. So you got to understand when to transition and when to keep pushing. For me, I understood I had to transition to being a trainer because I had a 1-year-old. I gave him a ball to see how it would transpire over. So for me, I had to understand when to transition or to keep pushing. Like right now, you said I'm going after semi-pro. If that doesn't pan out the way I want it to pan out, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with that because I know I tried.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
like
just
that.
where I'm at. And I would much rather build the mental of kids and be the trainer that they needed at that age than to be still trying to pursue my dream, because that's still a part of my dream. I want to be a part of basketball, in which I am.
I love
I
it.
like that.
Yeah. So, guys, I know you're wondering, like, man, this guy does everything pretty much, right? Um, like he hoops, he trains, he does music, he has merchandise. Um, where could they find you, or where could they get, some of those things that you're offering?
Pretty much the website, it's all inclusive. The music, to register to do training, and parents as well. Like, you know what I mean? Parents as well. If y'all want to sign up just for one-on-one, because I look at it as exercise. It's a game. You're supposed to have fun with it and be able to put yourself in a position to be better with life, health, and anything else. Because it's a game at the end of the day. So the website is all inclusive. It got the music, the clothing, and the basketball as well. So rebelwaylifestyle.com is where you can find me.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, guys, and I'm gonna make sure I put it as well. For those that are watching, I'm gonna put it below as well in the bio so you guys will see. But yeah, rebelwaylifestyle.com. Definitely check him out. Supporting. He's doing some amazing things. Like I said, he has such a big heart. He's helping the community. It's just amazing to see like how it's growing and it's progressing. So I definitely encourage you guys to support that. And also, guys, make sure you guys subscribe, like, of course. Also have a community, guys, for for the fathers that I'm doing No Perfect Father as well. If you're interested in that, you can contact me at dreamersambition@gmail.com. You can also hit me. I'll make sure I put it in the link as well. But you can also go to conquerthechaos.net, where I do coaching, one-on-one coaching of families. Also have my course that I'm going to be dropping soon, um, in the next few weeks or so. I'll definitely keep you posted on that. But yeah, guys. Again, thank you again, Coach Red, Mr. Real Life Bars, Desmond, all those thousands of names that he has,
Yeah.
hats. Man, and again, guys, it's one of those things. He does it and he does it well. It's not something where he does it and you're like, oh man, he half. No, definitely support this man. He's been a blessing for my family as well. But real quick, guys, before we go, I like to remind you guys. So as parents, we have to keep being an inspiration and never downplay the impact that we have for our loved ones, so we can conquer the chaos. You guys have a good one.
Indeed. Hey, thank y'all for having me.
Yeah,
Yes,
of
sir.
course.